Hey everybody, welcome back to Studio F. Thanks a lot for coming by. First off, let me give you a QR code. It's a QR code for the song Gimme that we're dealing with here. If you like the song, and you check out the video, all right. And here's another QR code for the list of videos to this song. There are 12 videos to the song. I post every Friday at 4. That's Studio F, Friday at 4. So there you have it. Let me recap what video 1 was all about writing the song, how I came up with the riff, how I pulled the various parts out of the riff, how I developed them and kind of got all the parts. Today's video dealing with the arrangement of the various parts and turning them into a blueprint, if you will, in ProTools software. Let me just run through the different parts of the song really quickly that we're going to be dealing with today in the arrangement. First is the intro. Then the riff itself, which we use for the verse, if you will, goes. Repeat it. Or loop it. That's your verse. And now we get the bridge. We tack on the riff. We do that again, and then we use part of the intro to lead back into the next verse. Then you get the next verse, and then you get the bridge again, and now you got a second bridge, which is something I didn't go over in the first video. It's kind of like a variation on the first bridge, adds a few more chords and a few more repeats to kind of build a canvas for the various guitar solos. So here's the second bridge. Starts the same, and it climbs up. And we toss the riff, and back and forth a few times on that. And then we do the last verse, and really the only other part that is left in the song is the outro, which is kind of, once again, like the intro, but pulled out and stretched a little bit to give it a little more room. So here's that outro part. And it repeats and it fades out. Those are all the parts of the song that we're going to be dealing with on this video coming up. Now, prior to actually putting all those parts together in the software, before I even get to that stage, I would just run the thing through in my head, whether I'm walking down the street, washing the dishes, or whatever. Just put all those things together and run them through my head over and over again in various ways, pretty much until I can't do it anymore. By that point, that's when I know I'm ready to hit the computer. So the first thing I do is create a 2-bar drum beat, tap it out, kind of close to what I want, and just loop that through in the software for about the full length of the song, and just start it going and start playing the different parts and seeing what fits, what sounds good, you know? Okay, here's what that looping drum beat looks like in Pro Tools and sounds like. And as I do this, I make little tags in the software, and here's what that looks like, so you can kind of use that later. Very important later to be able to dart around your song when you actually put all the parts together. Keep in mind that this is a very rough drum beat. I'm a believer that groove is everything. So later on, there's a video coming up perfecting the groove, what I like to call the DNA of the groove. But for now, what we're going to do is just tap the beat in, give it a 2-bar loop, and play along with it. And play the different parts and see what fits and see what works, and start taking notes in Pro Tools with the tags. Something that will be very valuable later. At this stage, I'll also take note of the clock time of the arrangement. In the case of this song, Gimme, when I first started out, it had too many verses, so I actually had to pull one out, and even further, was still too long, at about 5 minutes. That's what prompted me to come up with the last megaphone verse to kind of break it down. I mean, I was getting so big and so fat, There's no place to take it. I had to like break it down, then bring it back up again, which kind of drove the lyrics in a funny way with the big and the fat. So I have my drum groove looping, I'm putting it all together, and I come up with a mix, which is certainly far from the final mix, but if you want to hear what it is at this point, here is a QR code for this dummy mix, rough mix, early mix, right there. All right, cool. So I'm kind of finicky, you know, I get bored with even numbered beats and simple stuff. I want to be, surprised by music. And then if I like it, let's do it again. And every time I listen, I hear more stuff. So anyway, this intro part starts out with 8 bars, but there's one open bar in the front, and the music comes in, and it sounds odd, but it's actually even. Then the stop and the choke and the vocals and the scream, the whole thing, it sounds odd, but it's even, and I like that. So after the intro choke, I start out with a simple verse, bridge, verse, bridge. Second bridge I changed, but it's still an A, B, A, B. So when I got to that B part the second time, it was kind of boring, so I wanted to change it up and bring it out, lengthen it out, give it more room for guitar parts, and then also give your ear enough of a break from that riff so when you come back around to the riff again, it's welcome. Yeah. So once I have all the parts in the software, I'll play it a few times and sing along with it here and there, see how it sounds, see if it fits, see if it moves along smooth, it's too long here, too short there. It's like a sculpture. You start out with a big block and you're chipping away at it till you get exactly what you want. Then after a while, you know, once I think I got it in my head, it's playing along so much, I got to get away. So I'll put it away, come back another day maybe, and sit, and then when it turns on, when I play the track the first time, that's when I'm fresh. So you got to take advantage of that because every time you hear it, your objectivity kind of fades. So, okay, once I'm satisfied with the arrangement, I'll then go back and think about all the things I wanted to put in the song. I go, okay, now I have a blueprint here. Will those things work? Can I still put them all together? Are they still going to be effective? Flexibility. You got to realize the software allows you to do anything, so don't get too locked in because you can always change things later. For example, as I said, I had 6 verses, I had to chop it down to 5. Cut the software, boom, I got the right thing I wanted. Flexibility. That brings up an important point. Normally when you're playing or in a regular recording studio, once you lay down the track, that's it, you're stuck with it. You can cut the tape, but that's crazy. With the MIDI stuff, oh boy, you can go crazy changing stuff all you want and moving things around, and it gets to a point where it becomes too much flexibility. So you got to rein it in, but you got to find the happy medium. Be flexible or not be flexible. Yeah, that's how you do it. Spontaneity is priceless. It gives the music that added element of surprise, which is great. And it's something you'll go back to and listen to every time you hear the track. Like, oh, I remember I did that, just came up that on the fly, cool. And it also gives you confidence knowing that you can just wing it. In other words, you leave a space open, 8, 12, 16 bars, and get to it later, figure out the parts. You gotta have that confidence to be able to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Force not. Another thing you really shouldn't try and do is force yourself. If it's not fun every moment, every second, put it down, come back to another time. Yeah. Crying out loud, ah! I'll say this a few times. The nature of making music this way is so artificial. Anything you can do to spice it up, enliven it up, bring some humanness to it, you do it. Spontaneity is one way to go. Yeah. For example, in this song, it wasn't until way into it that I even came up with the idea of the bullhorn verse. The song was getting so many, it started up so big, it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And where do you go from there? I figure I have to go right down to the bottom and come back in again for that final big yell and scream outro. Yeah. In fact, that whole breakdown actually drove the lyrics. Once I realized I was going to do that, I said, it's got to come back big and fat. And I went, big and fat? I'll sing that. I'll tell them it's going to be big and fat. Okay, done with the arrangement. I like how it works. I like how it feels. I'm ready now to record the first keeper track. So that's going to be our next video. Well, I guess that about wraps it up for today. Studio F signing out. The next video will be the scratch track, which is actually the bass. I did the bass first on this, so we're going to check that out. Studio F. Next Friday at 4. See ya.